So speaking of, if of things to happen, right? Let's just play a quick fun game here of bold predictions, right? And these don't have to be specific, so like this is what the premise of Justice League 2 is going to be.
Yeah.
This can also be batshit crazy in terms of what are the inner workings of the Warner Brothers studios right now in terms of discussions.
Would you say, though, what we saw, like his treatment of what the second and third movies would be, is kind of batshit insane? It's really like what he planned for the next two movies, which are like peak. It sounds like DCAU. I feel like that's the direction that it would be going, with like super personal stuff, betrayals, like weird stuff, like crazy deaths. To be honest, that's what I would want. I want that.
DCAU stuff?
Oh, yeah. Just go all the way into that, because this is what the movie is setting up. So here's what I would like to see.
Well, real quick, just for people listening. So DCAU follows the early 2000s storyline of the Flashpoint paradox, where Barry Allen runs back in time fast enough to save his mom. Because of that, it causes a speed ripple, and then all these weird things happen, like Bruce Wayne doesn't become Batman. Thomas Wayne becomes Batman because the bullet moves and kills Bruce.
Yeah.
Martha becomes the Joker. Like all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it creates a darker world essentially, right?
Insane.
Zack Snyder's Justice League kind of sets that up, where we see Barry Allen doing like a mini Flashpoint where he runs far back enough or quick or short enough back in time to stop, Darkseid's puppet or uncle from uniting the Unity mother box and all that fun stuff. So that seems like what they're aiming for. It also allows for the multiverse stuff, which Hollywood seems to be really, really has a massive hard on for right now.
Yeah. I think some of us here are really pessimistic that we're not going to get those movies. But my counter to that would be, why not, though? This movie was so well received. The DCEU isn't established enough where they can't go in a different direction. They haven't made enough movies, and they haven't been well received enough where they can't do that. They've also established that they're willing to lean into different versions of every single character, right? I mean, like, good Lord.
I just had a really fucked up thought.
Oh, let's hear it.
And it's going to get a little political, so bear with me.
Oh, God.
So
I'm trying to clip this.
So you know how there are individuals that believe certain things went a certain way around November regarding an election, and they're like true believers, and they're like, they will die on that hill. Yeah. Do you think there are like similar individuals that believe that everything that's happening in the DCEU is like better than the MCU and makes logical sense and is a piece of art and is perfection, like in the ways that we look at other certain types of cinema and franchises?
Those people probably definitely exist, but I can't imagine that would be a loud enough minority to make any noise. I haven't seen it.
I want to find them.
You want to find them?
Yes.
I'm sure. Yeah, you can. They're isolated. They're like isolated cells that you have to unite. Only you can bring order to that voice and movement.
The Warner Brothers franchise stands. There's literally
dozens of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Dozens.
There's 39.
That's a good number.
So 3 dozen and a 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Arjun, do you have a bold prediction in terms of where everything could end up, if it ends up anywhere?
So I believe Warner Brothers called this, they used their Elseworlds line when they described this Justice League movie. Like it, speaking of the multiverse and whatnot, like, oh, this is, there are some continuity lines, but this is more of like a one-off type of thing. And they've repeatedly said, like, there are no more plans to make anything more within the Snyderverse. Obviously, there's been the Restore the Snyderverse movement. As Mr. Michael, our producer, alluded to, Zack has talked pretty extensively in recent interviews about like what would have come in his proposed Justice League 2 and 3. He infamously called this, Justice League the third part of his 5-part trilogy. Which is just a hilarious statement by itself, because everyone knows the trilogy is 3, and he called it 5 parts.
Is it would it be like a quintet or yeah, never mind. Sorry.
Well, I think because he includes Man of Steel and Batman v Superman in that like quote unquote trilogy, but he's like calling like Justice League the trilogy, but like those are the setup movies to the. I don't know. I don't know how his brain works.
Okay.
He's an interesting individual.
Sure.
But I guess my prediction is like I do think like his visions for Justice League 2 and 3 will be told in some format, and like whether that is all the way to like full-blown movies one day, or more likely like a comic book adaptation or like an animated thing. I do think there's enough momentum for those to be shared in some way, shape, or form, and I don't think this is like necessarily the end. And I bet Warner Brothers turns to him again, honestly. Like I don't think it's you could never make a DC movie for us again. Like I think clearly there's a lot of excitement around him. He's still obviously a polarizing like guy for, I feel like, a lot of fans. People like him. Some people don't like his style, but he's still been able to get, I think, the most out of like a connected DC live action universe than some other filmmakers have. So I don't, I think he's said multiple times he has no plans to return to DC. But I do think his time within the universe is not done.